there's a lot of things that we can do and in preparation for it. He is
Okay.
very, he has a pretty good training regimen from what I know. But one thing about Tyreek is he sprints. Like he sprints. He does a lot of hill sprint training. He does resisted work. He does receiver specific work, so he knows the game of football really well. And he does those slow eccentric works in the weight room. So like pause reps, down the reps, everything like that. He does all that stuff. I know his training. I know who trains him. So he is
Okay.
very well spent in the weight room, on the turf. He's a very balanced athlete. I think that's why he's one of the best receivers in the NFL.
Awesome.
And
Okay.
he doesn't
So
get hurt. He doesn't really get hurt. I mean, he doesn't experience crazy amounts of energy because his preparation is well intact.
that's great. Yeah. I mean, that's so much of the fitness. And when I played was not getting hurt, staying flexible. But before we move on to number one, we have a few people watching. If you're watching right now, if you have any kind of questions about improving your student athlete speed, strength, maybe you're the athlete, maybe you're the young athlete, feel free to drop a comment in the chat. We'll put it on the screen and we'll answer it for you. But regarding number one, the importance of speed and agility. Now, obviously, this is a whole different level moving to college and to NFL. But how many days per week, if the student's schedule allows for it, a high school student specifically wanting to go to the NFL, wanting to go to college, how many days per week should they be speed training, John?
At least 2 days a week. There's
At
no
least two.
there's no if ands there's no if ands or buts about it. All right. I'm gonna be the bad guy and I'm gonna tell you that if you're not running at least a 4.7, you can forget about playing football past high school. Okay.
Okay.
It's just and honestly, everybody that's playing high school football should be running a 4.7. But the reality of it is probably only not probably. I know the statistics. It's about 15% can run a 4.7, and there's only 3% can run 3% can run a 4.5 or better. So that tells me that a
Oh,
lot of you motherfuckers are not training speed because if you are a skilled player there and you're not you don't have physical limitations like one leg or I don't know, you got paralysis. I don't know if you got two working legs and you're in this country, you have full access to everything you need to run at least a 4.7. And if you're not running a 4.7, my buddy, you better be training speed twice a week for sure. That's we're talking to you. I see these kids and they have no concepts of posture, position, and power, rising rhythmically over time, horizontal and vertical force production. They have no concepts of it at all. They don't have any concepts of this, and yet they're playing football, and then they're wondering why they're not getting exposure, why they're not getting recruited. It's because you suck and you're not fast enough, and you're too slow to play the sport. And there's only a certain amount of kids that are even playing at that level. You could be one of it. Like, it's not that fucking hard. It's really not. Because the amount of kids I see on most of these high school teams are running 4.8s, 4.9s. They're slow. They're out of shape. And
yeah.
yet they're training every day. And that should tell you that you could train every day and still be doing the wrong things. And what is everybody doing? They're in the weight
Yeah.
room doing all they're doing is cleans, benching, deadlifting. Like
Not the
there
right
is
stuff.
no they're not doing the right things. Now, do you can you benefit from benching? Absolutely. Can you benefit from cleaning? Yes, you can. Can you benefit from a deadlift? But where does the return come from? And I'm going to tell you right now, in order to get fast, you got to move fast and you got to be on the field sprinting. And nobody's doing it. I've been in these high schools for the last 15 years. I've trained over 100,000 athletes. And I would say the ones that make it have the competency of speed development, and that is a very few percent. There's only 2% that go on to play into college. That's 60,000 athletes. That's 60,000 athletes out of
Yeah.
out of 3 million, out of 3
Yeah.
million. And if you want to be one of the 60,000, that's D1, 2, or 3. That's not even D1. You don't even want to understand
Wow.
the D1 number. Like, so if you want to be one of those 60,000 that go on past high school, where senior night is not the last night you play football, then you gotta start doing speed training. Oh, but we're in the weight room every day, coach. Oh, we're at 7-on-7 on the weekend, coach.